that's amazing. But do you recall the feeling in 1945, in the summer of 1945, when there was this huge controversy over the dropping of the bomb? And of course, if you would care to reflect on what you believe was the right decision, was that the right decision because of a possibility of a 1 million-man casualty list, or did you think it could have been handled?
I don't think there was anybody in the United States who thought that was the wrong thing to do. Everybody in the United States had a brother, a cousin, a father, a mother, whatever. They were involved in the war. And within, as an example, my wife had a brother who had fought all the way from France all the way right across Germany, and he was the 104th Infantry, and they were pulled out of England or out of Europe, and right after the thing, they were sent home as soon as possible, and then they had their 30-day or 20-day liberty. But then he was on the troop train going from the East Coast to San Francisco for the invasion of Japan.
Wow, I just can't imagine the degree of difficulty of fighting the Germans in France and the Netherlands and Germany, and then 30 days. Let's go to Japan, let's go to the Philippines, let's go to the islands, Okinawa, Iwo Jima. That must have just been an incredible challenge.
We have a bunch of veterans around here, and several of them were already in the Pacific. And they knew, they were already told that they would not get out. They were going to have to be involved in the invasion of Japan. We have veterans from this area that you have no idea. We have one who was a corpsman at Iwo Jima, crawling around on his hands and knees, patching up GIs. And you all know about Iwo Jima because you see that famous flag of the airplane, of the flag being put up. In corpsmen in the Pacific were carrying guns because the Japanese did not accept them as being not being equal to be shot at, and so therefore all corpsmen carried guns. Your chances, I think, if you surrendered in Europe to the Germans, you had about an 80% or 90% chance of coming home alive. In the Pacific against the Japanese, if you were captured, you might have a 25 to 20% chance of coming home survive. There was a very difference in the POW situation between the Atlantic and the Pacific.
In my readings, come across some really tragic events where the American Navy was trying to stop shipping going to and from Japan, and yet unfortunately the Japanese were capturing some Americans or British and shipping them home for duty and work duty in the hulls, and unbeknownst to our ship captains, we were sinking boats with prisoners on them, and of course we had no idea. But that kind of tragic incident of war must have been extremely difficult, because on the one hand, if you didn't stop their inputs, you didn't stop the things that was fueling their economy, you could never get them to stop prosecuting the war. On the other hand, they had, they just had no idea that they were, and the cruelty and the amount of sacrifices that our captured military guys. Those stories I don't think have probably been fully told.
there's a way for them to carry the prisoners. There was a way. All they had to do was mark it with a, and the United States would not have bombed it, but it was part of their problem. That's part how they did.